Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. Today I have with us, listen, he wears a lot of different hats. He's a director, actor, screenwriter, and he is one of the creators of a new streaming service for short films that's called Terror Salad. I have with us today Mark Morgenstern. Mark, welcome to the Horror Realm.
Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure.
I'm excited to be here.
Listen, this is going to be a fun ride, my friend. It's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah.
So tell us about Terror Salad.
Well, it's an initiative that a couple of friends of mine and I started. I think we launched July 31st, so it's really new. But basically, it's we want to be the aggregate for horror short films. So we invite people to submit. Doesn't matter the quality of film or how much money is put into it. We realize that horror is very much a community where we love it all. Good, the bad. We know if as long as there's effort put into it and there's a sort of passion and grit and whatever, we love it. We want to see it. And I'm just a fan of all horror. Anything from nickel and dime horror where people shoot it on their iPhone in their backyard, or big budget horror. But as long as there's a passion for horror behind it, there's been recently there hasn't been that passion in horror. I'm not going to name names, but some big budget movies are just sort of kind of lacking in the let's go for the scare, or let's go for the fright, or the gritty. They kind of play it safe and follow formulas and do all that. And we want to get away from that. We want to go back to let's experiment. Let's have some fun. Let's remember what we love about horror and showcase it. And terrorsalad.com is where we want to do that. We've launched with 4 horror shorts. I directed one of them. It's called Double X Protocol. It's sort of a work in progress right now, but I wanted to show people what they could do with their iPhone, and and some stock or some stock effects or sound effects or whatever, and to put it together and submit it, and hopefully get a sort of a decent and fun little short film out of it, and have some fun, and I think a lot of that is missing nowadays. And I think Terror Salad wants to bring that back.
I love it. And I agree. So I'm a huge horror fan, from everything from the no budget ones until the big budget ones. And the fun is missing. I feel like in some indie horror, in a percentage of indie horror and majority of the big budget ones, the fun is gone. It's almost turned into like a business where they're churning out same old, it's repetitive thing. And the fun is missing. I grew up in the 80s where it was fun. It was experimental. You got to see things that you're like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even like, for the life of me, the name of the movie escapes me, but it's the little voodoo man that goes around and kills people. I don't know if you remember that one. It's just like it looked like a Cupid doll or whatever like that. It ran around and it was just,
You're talking about Ooga Booga Man?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
It was ludicrous. Right. It was crazy.
Ludicrous.
And I loved it.
And it was offensive too, in so many ways. But that's what horror is supposed to be. Horror is supposed to be offensive, and like I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, listen, I don't know if things have changed in culture, but it seems like horror has become safe.
Yeah,
safe.
What I think is I think there's a lot of change in the political correctness, and I'm not even opposed to that. If a group of people are marginalized and they don't want to be marginalized, or they're offended by that, by all means, we shouldn't be doing that. But there are so many ways to tackle something like that without punching down, without making fun of, or without you know, becoming the butt of someone's jokes. And stand-up comedians deal with this a lot. There are stand-up comedians that deal with taboo subjects greatly, fantastic, and there are others that just go for the cheap joke. And I'm tired of the cheap joke. I'm tired of the cheap horror scare, right? I know they're searching for new ways to gather an audience, but I don't know if you've seen the Smile movies. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, like, bring us back to, give us some visceral stuff, give us some, you know, some stuff that's really gonna knock us off our feet. And I think, you know, I think Terra Salad is a place for that to happen. You know, we're not gonna censor anyone or anything like that. That's not what horror is, right? Horror is finding your inner fright.
I agree. And one thing I love about Terra Salad, so I interview a lot of indie horror filmmakers who make short films, and you know, one of the things I ask them, like, what's next? So you made a short film, what's next? And they say, well, I'm gonna put it on the film festival circuit, and then from there, maybe throw it on YouTube and see what happens. So to give them an option after the film festival circuit to somewhere where their short film can find a home is amazing.
And we certainly, right now, because we've just launched, we're brand new, we're less than a month old. Because we've just launched, we're hoping to expand quickly. You know, we want to have our own Roku channel. We want to have our own, you know, where you can find us from Amazon or from wherever that you're searching on your smart TV. We're going to be in the, you know, we want to be on the YouTube place, of course, because that's where people look for it. But, you know, there's all these independent channels out there that look for horror short films that we can, or features that we can put in an anthology and showcase these in areas that a short film isn't accepted, right? So say it's on Apple TV and they don't accept shorts. I'm not sure if they accept shorts or not, but it's just an example. Yeah. We can certainly throw 5 or 6 and, you know, probably of a linear content, right? So say there's 5 vampire shorts that the people want to see, and throw them all into an anthology and get it up on Apple TV. Maybe our own DVD distribution outlet where we maybe one-off DVD titles. So if people want to buy an anthology, we can print on demand and send them that. It's just like we just want to bring back the old horror experience that we love. And you know, when my friends and I got together, we went, yeah, this is the right thing to do. This is awesome. And we've been trying hard and plugging away, and we put together these 4 shorts. There's one that is already being planned on making into a feature, and it's been really exciting and really fulfilling. And I invite people to jump over to Terra Salad to see those shorts. You can also find us on, you know, Facebook or Discord. We're on Discord as well, Instagram, all those fun places. Yeah.
Do you feel like, now, one of the things I've noticed, and listen, I'm guilty of this now. I'm 41 now. My attention span is so fucking short. Like, I say, like, I cannot watch a movie past an hour and a half, like, in one sitting anymore. Unless I'm sitting in the theater. Sitting at home, I got too much going on, you know what I mean? And, like, so to invest anything more than an hour and a half, it means I'm not doing something else. And it seems like that's the way most of society is. Or the attention is short. With TikTok, YouTube Shorts, those Facebook Shorts, more people are enjoying and looking for good short film horror content.
Well, there's definitely a paradigm shift. You know, the way people consume content is not in days of old. I'm 53 years old, and you know, long gone are the days where you go to a movie theater and, you know, with on a first date and it's a horror film, and I just don't think people are like that anymore. And if they are, that's fantastic. That's great, because that's how you should enjoy horror.
Exactly.
Just grab the loved one beside you and watch it and be fearful. But you're right. There people aren't consuming the media the same way they used to. So anywhere from 10 seconds to 5 minutes are these great things. I'll be sitting there and I'll be watching these reels or these TikTok things, and it's just it's 10 seconds, it's 30 seconds, and I'm like, oh, next. It's because you're right, my attention span just isn't there anymore, and I want to pick and choose what I sit and enjoy on
Yep.
television or in a theater or I even the last Halloween I went to a drive-in to watch it, and it was a blast.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just I'm very choosy on how I consume the things that I really want to enjoy. So one of the things that we've done in Terrace Alley, this was actually my initiative, was we did these 10-second horrors, right? And so, for example, it's just this creepy guy on a swing, just and then he looks at the camera, he's like, push me. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's just 10-second horror. Like, it's all you really need nowadays, right? So so we have all of that on Terrace Salad. Like, I'm trying to think of all different ways just to sort of have fun with horror, even like classic horror that you can make fun of or redub or just with technology today. It's insane what you can do with what's available out there. That's either public domain or licensed or whatever. It's we want to make it a place that's just, you want to be silly, you want to be frightened, you want to be you like a good horror comedy, whatever. It's just, we want that. And yeah, I think people are tired of just corporate money making crap that doesn't fulfill. And my favorite film series is the Saw series. I love the Saw series because of the ingenuity of the traps and the whole John Kramer story. I love that. But I watched the last one, and trust me, I forgive a lot in a horror film. I forgive a lot. And it's John Kramer goes to get his cancer fixed, and I'm sorry if I'm spoiling anything, but it just happens to be on like a rich island, and so he's on this island that and he's duped, and so of course he captures the people who duped him, and he's got this whole setup on this island, and I'm like, where did you get that, John? How did that happen, John?
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, you couldn't just pretend it was back in the States or something, or
Exactly.
all of a sudden it's like, wow, he's built this trap in next to no time, because we know his cancer eventually takes him, and and it's just like, wow, we're just supposed to believe that. All right, okay.
Insult the intelligence of the audience, right? Insult the intelligence of the audience.
Yeah, especially like a fan of the series, right? It's like, you get the first few that are just really intelligent, just really, just the twists and the turns. It's like, wow, this is just amazing. It's just like, I love it. It's my kind of, psychological mind fuck horror type thing. And then it's like, and even up until later, and it's like, look, we got people to replace them. Fantastic. Just give me what I want, right? And then it's like, no, we don't need John Kramer anymore. You've already established that he's dead and gone. You have new people to take it over. Just continue doing that. And I don't know, I guess they felt the need to bring him back and have a prequel of it. And, some great traps, some great moments. And awesome kills. Yeah. Which is what Saw is known for. But then you're like, just, you can't give up any of that story that you've already established. The good quality of character and dynamic. But
do you think all of the original ideas are gone in Hollywood horror, or or do you think that the reason why it's dead is because they're sticking with the same core individuals to make these films?
That may be it. You know, like when Eli Roth came out, he was great and new and innovative, and I haven't really followed his career of lately, but I'm sure he's still doing stuff that pertains to a certain people, or you know, or Sam Raimi has gone mainstream. Although what he did with the last Doctor Strange was great. You know,
Yes.
he made that into a horror film, which was fantastic. So here's my philosophy on something like horror. You need to do it with 90% of your budget, 80% of your budget. So say your budget's $1 million. You have to do it for 900 grand, because then you're inventive. Then you go, all right, well, how can I get this done without just CGIing it? Or, you know, I have to up the script because the actor I want for it won't do a really crappy movie, right? So I have to make the script really intelligent. You know, so it's almost like, you know, we need to go back to that you know, first film, or that school of filmmaking where it's, I can't get what I want because the budget's not there and the producers are, you know, doing whatever they can, and you know, either you make something up, or you put a guy in a gorilla suit with a space helmet head, and you're you know, now you're all right, this is it, you know, nobody's seen this before, all we have to do is just play it like it's a horror film, like it's real, and this is the real circumstance, and people will love it. People will love it. You know, we bought a Chucky doll, you know.
Yes.
We bought this doll that comes to life and, you know, kills people. Why do we not, you know, buy anything, right? Or the Annabelle doll or whatever, right? You know, I'm tired of seeing the movies based on the Warrens' life.
The Conjuring ones, it's getting long in the tooth. It's getting long in the tooth.
Long in the tooth. Like when the first Nun came out, I thought that was great. But then, you know, let's do 2 and 3, and it's I enjoyed it.
I didn't like that one bit. I wasn't. See, but when it comes to the Conjuring series, there are some gems in that series. There are some gems. 1, 2, and the second Annabelle I liked. But I mean, the Nun 1 or 2, I tried to enjoy those movies because I loved the first 2.
I just really liked the way the Nun looked, I guess, and it was just kind of really
Abrams, they're great.
Yeah.
I mean, Bonnie Adams, I think Bonnie Adams.
Yeah. Amazing. I mean, you know, but a lot of these times I go alone in a theater, just, you know, usually after the first run, so it's like I'm alone in the theater. I don't have to sit here and listen to people talk, and so I sit and I'm by myself. So I sit and by myself. I avoid all of the press and everything, whether they like it or not. You know, I'm usually the kind of guy that likes something because someone else hates it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, no, I just want to sit and relax and just enjoy the film. I don't have to deconstruct it. I don't have to be, you know, a critic. I just have to enjoy it, right? You know, I know one of the films that gets a lot of mixed reviews or mixed people liking or not liking is Babadook, and I'm like, love the Babadook.
I love the Babadook. I love the Babadook.
And they're like, yeah, but the kid was crazy. And I'm like, no, the kid was imperative to it. The kid was germane to the story. And I love the Babadook, right? And you know, I'm watching it with my wife, and my wife is like, I can't watch this. It's too much like babysitting my cousin, you know. It's like, I get it. So,
what happened to M. Night Shyamalan? I'm saying it's wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm saying his last name wrong. What happened to him? So I recently watched his last movie, Trap, and it was unwatchable.
Oh, did you? I haven't seen it yet. I
was excited for it.
I'm kind of excited for it, and I'll probably still see it just because I do like the way he puts a film together. Right, he has a great camera style. He has a great storytelling narrative way. Just sometimes his scripts don't make it.
Yeah.
The Happening, the trees one. Like I watched it and I went, come on,
Yeah.
you're better than this, right? Just give,
Yeah.
I would rather have just creatures in the trees or something than just trees. Make them invisible. I don't care, right? But just the trees, where we've established all our lives that trees aren't what what they did in the film. So it's like, yeah. But one of the ones that a lot of people hated that I loved was the water one. What was it? The something in the water.
Oh, the girl in the water or the woman in the water?
Woman in the water or something like that.
Yeah, something. Yeah. The
Yeah.
one with
Bryce Dallas
Harry
Howard.
Potter. Yeah, Harry Potter was in it. Wasn't it?
Was he in that?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was Daniel Radcliffe. Wasn't it?
The girl in the water. Something in the water. Anyway, I loved it because right away he said, look, this isn't a typical horror film. This is a fairy tale that I wrote for my kids. So you walk in it and I got everything I like in an M. Night movie, right? I got, weird characters, the guy with the big arm and the monster that's just beyond the hedge or the grass line. I like the way he put it together. Wow. It's like, this is just a great story, but everyone's expecting Sixth Sense again or Unbreakable or Split or whatever like that. And, I think he did himself a bonus by hiring James McAvoy for that character, because he was so good in Split and in Glass. Just as that character, he was I'm amazed. Yeah. Like, how many characters did he play? It was so good.
It was a lot. But the one M. Night movie that I like, that's my favorite, and most people are like, oh, is The Visit. That's the one where the kids are visiting their grandparents.
Haven't seen that one yet.
That one is so fucking eerie. It's so fucking eerie.
Yeah,
and it kind of has this. All right. Yeah, it's so eerie, and like once you find out at the end, I mean, the ending is so good. The ending is so good.
Good. All right. It's not that I've avoided it. I just haven't watched it yet. I like his style of putting together a movie that will get me thinking and creep me out a bit. Right. I like that. And sometimes it's hit, sometimes it's miss. But we just need to go back to some good old fashioned, when's the last time we saw a good vampire movie? Where they just,
I've been saying that for the longest time.
Yeah. Where they just rip the shit out of people. You know what I mean? They're just.
I think the last one was, which is one that most people don't like, that I love, John Carpenter's Vampires with James Wood.
Love John Carpenter's Vampires.
I love that movie.
Yeah. No, it's. I love it. Oh, look who I have with me.
Oh, hi there.
This is Stevie.
What's up, Stevie? Welcome to the horror room, Stevie.
Yeah. I love it. Like there's been a couple, but if you're gonna make a movie that's a bunch of wayward teenagers end up getting in trouble or whatever, I like to see teenagers ripped apart by vampires.
It's the best part.
The best part. And we haven't had one since Lost Boys or Lost Boys 7.
Lost Boys is amazing. But my thing is, when the vampires, I think, I say this a lot, I feel like Twilight ruined vampires. It's the Twilight series because after Twilight, you got all of these romantic vampires.
Right.
And I love True Blood, the series. I loved it up until the last season. But you started getting all of these vampire content that I felt like was targeting women.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
which is perfectly fine. But I feel like that's a subgenre of vampires. You know, that's
Right.
a subgenre of vampires, which is perfectly fine. But actual the old school, like you said, Lost Boys vampires, or even Fright Night, that's been missing. That's been missing for a while.
I even like the sequel.
Yeah, me
I
too.
like the remake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's been something that's been missing. But yeah, I mean, listen, I feel like vampires can be sexy and horrifying at the same time.
Sure.
I feel like you don't have to separate it. Do a sexy, terrifying vampire movie.
But you're right. It's I think the as of recently a lot of vampire stuff has been targeted to women.
Yeah,
I watched True Blood with my wife, and there's a show called The Discovery of Witches, which has the vampire in it. And I watched that with my wife, and it's a romance. It's every so often we see some like a vampire scene every 3 or 4 episodes, and it's and you go like and you sit back, and I'm like, yeah. My wife's like, ah, and I'm like, is it over yet? Is it over yet? Yeah. It's over. It's not over. So so every so often, you'll have something like that, but it's I would like a nice vampire film where they're monsters who feed on people and we got to take them out. Like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
I totally agree.
I do have to admit, a lot of my vampire scripts are like that. I don't have a romantic vampire script.
But I feel also like you can mix the two together in some kind of way,
You
which
can,
I don't think
sure.
anybody has done movie wise. I don't think anybody has done it, but I feel like you can mix the two together and you can get both audiences at once.
Sure. It's I don't know how I if it hasn't been done until now, maybe there's a reason, right?
Yes,
I don't.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if the romance will draw the women, even though there's
tons of gore.
visceral gore horror.
Mhm.
So I no, well, just all we have to do is look at what is doing really well in both male and female audiences across all genres, right? So if you look at action genre, right? Just as many women love the Fast and Furious as men do, right? Women, it's there's the good looking guys and the hot cars and the what I mean, and they're there and they're for each other, and but it's very satisfying, right? And as guys, or typical guys, there's great car chases, great fun action scenes that we enjoy regardless, right?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like there are people who love Fast and Furious as much as they love They Live. And as much as I love They Live, not a great movie.
Yes,
not really that great of a movie. and but still there's action scenes, there's quotable things, there's
Mhm.
and to this day I quote the movie and I have fun and it's a fond memory, right? So guys just love action, right? Give them good action and they're happy, and now you have strong female male characters who treat each other as equals in a circumstance where if we don't work together we're done for.
We're doomed.
Yeah, we're doomed. And it works and it makes billions of dollars and the franchise goes up to 10. I think the last movie should have been called Your Seatbelt because it would have been Fast 10 Your Seatbelt.
But there's a horror series that did the same thing and I'm not a fan of the series. I'm a fan of the video game series, but the Resident Evil movie series, like
You don't like the movies?
was that? I don't like the
You don't
movie. I like the video game. Could there nothing like the video game? So I don't.
Right.
Yeah,
I enjoy the video games too.
Yeah,
Like the video games creep me out. That's great.
yes,
Just you're playing
they're,
there.
they're amazing.
My wife has to leave the
But-
room. She can't be in the same room as I'm playing a video game.
But I know a lot of women. I mean, those movies made for horror movies. They made hundreds of millions of dollars, and I think they had like 7 sequels. And I think they still might be the highest grossing horror movie of all time. That series, but to me, I don't enjoy them. But it was that as many women went to see those movies as men because you had the leading actress. I mean, what was an actor was a woman, a powerful woman, and
Mila Jovovich.
can't think of her name, Mila Jovovich. And it had a diverse character, and yes, it had tons of gore and action and this and that. But I think it was just a diverse character, and you got to see women characters in a powerful role, and you also had that romance side and to mix in it. It just crossed all of the bases.
I have a theory about Mila Jovovich and why women like her.
Why is that?
It's because she is portrayed like you could be her friend, like she would be your friend.
Yeah.
And like think of her from Fifth Element, or I want to say that watch the Resident Evil movies. I'm trying to think of what else that she's been in.
She was in the one where it was a couple and they were going on vacation, and the one couple killed the other couple. I want to say Harrison Ford was in that. What the hell's in that movie?
But you feel like she's got your back, that she's your friend, right? That you could that you talk on the phone often. She has that sort of, she's tough, but she's not hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the appeal. Because I'm trying to think of women who are hard when you're watching them. That you're just sort of like, look, it doesn't, male, female, it doesn't matter. You'll just kick everyone's ass. We know that.
Michelle Rodriguez. Rodriguez comes off as hard.
Yes.
Most women that I've talked to do not like Michelle Rodriguez for some reason as an actress. And maybe you're right. It's because she's too hard.
And, she's not tough. She's tough and hard. And, and I think that's a big deal when it comes to casting and putting someone in a role that you want to try to make this sequel to, and or a franchise or something that will get people to come back over and over and over again because of this main character. And I'm thinking of trying to think of other horror franchises where the main character is a woman who's like that. Jamie Lee Curtis from the Halloween.
For Halloween. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's tough but not hard. And I think that's...
Well, she's definitely hard. I think in that last trilogy, they made her hard. Yeah, that last trilogy, they made her hard, which was kind of bothering me a little bit. But
I agree. But you get what I'm saying. She's got that, But
I mean, because Laurie Strode is the original final girl in my eyes. She is the final girl, and it was because she was that girl next door that I felt like most women could relate to the character. And I mean, no matter which movie you looked at, you could even look at HBO, where she's a mother trying to protect her child, from this murderous killer. And I mean, you can. Well, I feel like most women can relate to that character.
Yeah.
And Sidney Prescott from Scream. That's a great one too.
Absolutely. But maybe it would be nice to see an all-female-led vampire film where it's just, it's almost like Wheel of Time, where only women can be witches.
Yeah,
only women can be vampires, right?
Yeah.
So they just decide they want to take over. They're tired of the shit and they want to take over. And they go and they just kill indiscriminately because we're men. I would love that. It's so
And I'm
silly,
pretty
it's so
that
fun.
would be. That would be.
Yeah.
Someone is right now stealing your idea, Mark.
Well, it's broadcast, so
Yes.
can't really take it. It's kind of attributed to.
now, now, Mark, you not only, I mean, listen, Terrace, by the way, Terrace Salad, check it out, definitely. Now, then you've hit on it, and I've said it before, you're a director as well as an actor and a screenwriter. Yeah. What really got you into horror?
Well, growing up,
wanted to create horror, I should say.
Yeah, growing up, I was just, it was actually, I remember getting a special effects book, right? Just how to do simple special effects if you were, or I think it was a Tom Savini book too, or at least he was in it. And that's how I began to know about Tom Savini. And just some of the I guess what got me into the horror is actually not the horror, it's the intelligence behind it to make it look like horror. So I remember in the book, to create a bullet hole in the head, he put some what do you call the stuff that you put on your skin? the plastic stuff.
What do you mean? The
special effects makeup. The special effects makeup.
Yeah. The wax you talking about?
The wax, but it has
the wax.
So like to put a button under the wax, and on action or the gunshot or whatever, just you have a string coming from the button, and you just pull the string, and it's blood and skin and everything. It looks like you've been shot in the head. And I remember seeing this. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this, right? So I put I went out. I saved my money. I was a kid too. I remember saving my money to go to a special effects makeup store, which was downtown. I think I was like 12, and I remember going downtown. It was Toronto, and it was like theater. Oh, geez, see, there's something. See, my age is starting to get to me now.
It's good. Don't worry about it, man. I'm the same way.
Yeah, and bought some of the wax. Oh my God! Somebody, please tell us what it is. I'm
a mortician. Well, I mean, my full-time job, I'm a mortician today. So we do restorative work. So normally, if we're covering up a bullet hole or like that, it's a TMI, but we use wax to cover over.
No, but there's a special effects makeup, like the latex stuff that they would put on the head, just to sort of put the makeup so it just looks like it's normal.
Yeah.
And then they would pull the string and the bullet hole. Looks great on camera. So yeah, I went and got some and tried it, and I remember doing it. And I remember being in the living room, and my mom's there watching TV, and I'm like, "Ma, shoot me in the head, shoot me in the head." She's like, "I'm watching TV, leave me alone." And so finally she does it, and I'm like, "Oh," and she just wasn't impressed, right? but it was the best thing. It was just like, I got my mom, or I did whatever, right? But yeah, that's what got me into horror, because that's like, this is a cool new horror thing. This is like, wow, watching, like, I was 12 when John Carpenter's The Thing came out, so I couldn't see it in theaters. And when it came to VHS or whatever, and I'm 15 at the time, it was, my friends, we all gathered. We would do this. We would get really, really crappy horror and really good horror and just get together and watch it as teenagers, right? We would go buy crap and popcorn and all that sort of stuff and just watch it. And we'd watch these, anything from like Viking Massacre was one I remember watching. And I was just like, what is this? It looks fun. Let's just go do it. It was horrible, absolutely horrible, right? But it's what you did. And that was the fun part. And I would be there, and I would try to figure out the special effects. Like I mentioned, John Carpenter's The Thing. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Even old, like, Ray Harryhausen and stuff like that. Yeah, just the skeletons fighting in Sinbad. It was just like, wow, I just want to be able to recreate that and do that. So my first feature was a vampire feature. It's the Vampire Conspiracy. So I think you can watch it out there somewhere. You can probably find it on YouTube. And it was a low budget. Low. It's
like to the bottom.
10 grand was the budget for it, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to make a smart vampire movie for 10 grand. Not as much blood as I'd like because blood was expensive. And, I think we did a good job. I think we had some fun doing it. It's, the production values aren't the greatest, but, it's a fun vampire film. So if you haven't watched it, look for it. It's The Vampire Conspiracy. It's on YouTube, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. It's probably under my channel.
Yes. And by the way, I'm going to put the link to your website actually in the description as well. And you can find everything that Mark has done. So, now I have a question. Is there a preference for you? Do you prefer acting over filmmaking?
Acting was my youth. In my youth, I loved it. But now, sort of being the creator and putting things together and, tell a story, right? I prefer doing that. And then, and it's always really kind of cool when you can get the actor to do what you really want them to do, as opposed to what they think they need to do. And when the minds mesh, it's great. It was better than any rush I felt acting. So, but would I act again? Of course I'd act again.
Because acting, I've acted in one movie. When I say act, I had 2 lines. But but you're telling someone else's story, and like compared to filmmaking, you're telling your own story, and like I that's one thing I admire about filmmakers. Like you're telling the world or the audience or whoever, you're telling them your story, and you're doing it in a visual way, which is I fucking love it.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. I like it too.
All right, Mark, where can everyone find you?
Well, my personal website is director/writer, all written out.com. That's where you can just sort of find me, see my stuff. I'm a commercial director too, so you can see all my commercials. And of course, there's the terrasalad.com. People should go check that out. And befriend me on Facebook. I'm here on Facebook. I like people, so.
He's a nice guy too. He really is. He's a nice guy.
Thanks.
Yes. And by the way, go down to the description too. I have the link to Mark's website as well as terrasalad.com down there, so definitely click on it. If you're an indie horror filmmaker, short filmmaker, how do they get in contact with you, Mark? Through
they can do it on Facebook. If they want to do the Terra Salad stuff, Terra Salad we have the website, and we have a Facebook group too that you can go to and enjoy. The YouTube channel, of course, Terra Salad on YouTube. But if you want to get me through that, you can through the contacts on there. We're trying to collaborate with people to figure out like the best way to just have a horror community where we can, maybe have a contest. Hey, let's try to do this, and everyone just sort of does whatever. All right. Or, we're, the one of the other founders, his name is Peter Paul Basler. And we're like, hey, let's just be there. Let's just talk to people and enjoy the community and just, and build up Terra Salad to be a place where people can just go be their horror selves. Right.
And Mark, I'm gonna give you an idea too. Listen, I'm gonna do it on camera. One of the things I did a couple months ago, I had a indie filmmaker come on, and him and I brainstormed an idea, and he wanted a way to show his film out, and so we did a live screening on the Horror Room of his short film, and we had him and the cast on, so everybody, so they're talking and people are commenting while watching the movie, and it's like it was a live Q&A, and I thought that was pretty fucking cool.
That's amazing. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, that's a. I mean, I'm just tossing out there. It was a fun time. I would love to do it again. It was so much fun.
I'm with you. I'm there.
Awesome.
We can do this as many times as you want.
Yes, and listen, the horror realm will always. Listen, Terrence, Sally needs any help or anything, just reach out to us, and we would definitely assist you guys.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
No problem. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to the horror realm. I'm Travis Bruce, and that is Mark Morgenstern.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you next time. Take care.